Jamie Vardy has been chuckling along at the threat of a rough welcome to Peterborough from the former non-league defender he helped turn professional when talk moves to Claude Puel. Alex Penny is the graduate of Vardy's V9 Academy who will by romantic coincidence line up against the Leicester striker at London Road on Saturday. Warning his famous friend not to expect any civility in return, but Vardy reveals that his manager has already tried to nobble him first. "I had to laugh on Tuesday," Vardy says, ready to shatter perceptions of the quiet Frenchman. "The gaffer was joining in with training. And the ball was between me and him, and he actually launched himself into a tackle. There was no concern whatsoever. I moved out the way and started laughing to myself. Wow. Here we go. I made sure the next one we were shoulder to shoulder, and I tried to give him a little nudge. Get off the ball. That's just how he is. He still has his playing days with Monaco in his head. He has got plenty of ability. That is probably one of the reasons why he likes joining in, knowing he is not going to be made to look a fool. He is a very hands-on manager. He will pull you aside to have one-on-one conversations, as well as getting involved in training. It is enjoyable. Believe me, he gets really upset if he is on the losing team. That is football. You train as you want to play. I just don't think the gaffer has realized yet has not got a chance to play himself on Saturdays." Vardy is relaxed and in full one-liner mode, but also providing rare insight into a manager who can come across as more than a little reserved. Listening in next to him is Penny, the 20-year-old who used to wait tables before applying for Vardy's course last summer and impressing scouts to earn a contract at Peterborough. Not that Vardy will get much by way of thanks when Leicester visit London Road. Will he still be talking to me afterwards? It depends on the tackle I put in on him in the first 5 minutes, Penny says with a smile, before suggesting he might also beat Vardy for speed. "One of the Watford lads pulled his hamstring trying to catch me last week," Vardy responds. The pair make quite a compelling double act, and part of that clearly comes from shared days spent working long shifts for modest pay. This time last year Penny was balancing games for Nuneaton with his job at a Rub Smokehouse restaurant on Birmingham's lively Broad Street. "Fridays were the worst," he says. "They could have you down for a 12 to 6 shift. But then you see how busy it's getting, and that can turn into an extra 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes you are not able to eat. So later you're pulling up at service stations to get sandwiches or sausage rolls, anything for a bit of energy. The latest I left that place was at 5 a.m. after having to clean up. You name it, I had to clean it. Then I had to wake up at 8 a.m. to make myself ready for a game. The first few times I was close to calling football a day. I thought I can't commit if I'm going to be feeling like this on a match day. But then when you're out on the pitch, you completely forget and step through it. You think, well, I'm here now, doing what I actually want to do." Penny would get about £8 an hour, but with tips could make more. "I like to think I'm a good people person," he says. Vardy interjects. "I was stuck in a factory," he quips of his own days making medical equipment. "There were no tips unless I wanted to take home one of those splints." Times have of course changed for Vardy, but he does not forget his roots. It is why he had only one reaction when told that without a sponsor the V9 Academy would be put on hold this year. "I can't repeat exactly what I said, but there were no way I wasn't going to have it running again this year," he says. Vardy and wife Becky are once more funding the enterprise out of their own pocket, and this time it is open to applications from Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, as well as England. Last year more than 2,000 players applied. 42 were selected to attend the 5-day course at Manchester City's training complex, and 5 signed for professional clubs. Danny Newton is another success story, having scored 11 goals since his move from Tamworth to Stevenage. and Vardy believes there will be more from the inaugural year picked up in future. A second series of the Sky Show following it all has been commissioned. Although Vardy might ban cameras from entering his house this time after admitting the episode of him driving around on a children's Diddy car was a tad embarrassing. "That's just a standard day in our house," he adds. "If I'm not doing that, I'm on the trampoline or at the minute. I've got my little girl making me play with her Sylvanian families." This year's course will run from June 4th to 8th, and Vardy is hoping that he will be able to visit on the final day to watch the showcase games. If selected for England's World Cup squad, he will need Gareth Southgate's blessing after the friendly against Costa Rica on Elland Road on June 7th. "It is going to be a heavy summer with the World Cup on, so I know the preparations have got to be right for that," he adds. Vardy's presence last year made a real impact with the non-league players who, according to Penny, now call rising up the football pyramid the Vardy way. The two will swap shirts after the game today, and Vardy's sincerity shines through when reflecting on Penny's success. "I am proud," he says. "I got given the opportunity by Nigel Pearson, and through taking that I am now in a position where I can try to help other non-league players. I'm delighted."